Hello, welcome to Wed's Reading Room. I've got two delightful books to recommend to you this month. The first is Arthur and the Mystery of the Egg by Joan Mercier, and this is a Phoenix Yard book. And the second, for slightly older readers, is The Smug Pug by Anna Wilson, and this is a Macmillan book. The first book then, Arthur and the Mystery of the Egg by Joan Mercier. I let Arthur introduce himself to you. So right from the very beginning of the book, I'm Arthur and I'm 7. And the other day, round the back of my grandparents' house, I found an egg. A completely white egg, just like the ones you get in the fridge. I was so happy, because it isn't every day you find an egg. But when I ran back to the house to show it to my family, they made the biggest fuss ever. "Arthur," my mother shrieked at once, "take that egg back to its nest right now. Do you understand?" "But there isn't a nest," I replied. "If there's an egg, there's a nest. That's just the way things are." Well, the mystery goes on from there. Arthur and his family try to get to the bottom of one of the longest mysteries of all time. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? This really is a delightful story, and I'm sure boys and girls alike are going to absolutely love it. And if you do enjoy it, there are lots more books in the Arthur series for you to enjoy. The second book for older readers is The Smug Pug by Anna Wilson. This is an absolutely wonderful story, brilliantly written, and again, boys and girls alike will really enjoy this story. You may have come across Pippa before and Dash the Dachshund. Well, this story is another story about these wonderful characters, and I'm just going to read from the very beginning of the story. Pippa Peppercorn woke to the sound of her alarm clock and immediately felt her heart sink to the bottom of her huge woolly bed socks. The alarm clock meant only one thing: school. It was the end of the Easter holidays, the end of lazy mornings. Lessons would begin that day and there was no getting out of it. "I wonder if I could make up an excuse. I could say I've come down with some incredibly rare disease that makes it impossible for me to go to school ever again," she pondered. She surveyed her clothes, which she had laid out the night before, and tried not to look at her book bag. Or I could pretend to be my mother calling by putting on a fake voice and saying, "I'm terribly sorry, but Pippa Peppercorn has been struck by lightning and will never be able to leave the house for the rest of her life." No, that wouldn't work. I wouldn't be able to go out to see Dash and Mrs. Fudge then. She sighed. "It's ridiculous. I don't need to go to school. I can learn everything I will ever find necessary in life by going to Mrs. Fudge's salon," which is where she likes to spend a lot of her time after school. And there she sees Dash the Dachshund, and they get up to all sorts of things together and try to solve various mysteries. Now, when she gets to school, Pippa finds actually it's not as bad as she thought it was going to be, because there is a new girl, Tallulah, and Tallulah has with her the Smug Pug. Now, Pippa is absolutely delighted by the arrival of these two in school, and she thinks they're absolutely wonderful. But Dash the Dachshund isn't so sure. He thinks Smug is, well, rather smug. And as for Tallulah, well, he thinks she's completely nutty. This really is a fantastic story. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I hope you enjoy both these books, and I hope you also enjoy the fun activities I've written to accompany them.